you're used to. Non-apologetic news, telling you the truth. Non-apologetic news, saying what they're scared to. Non-apologetic news, non-apologetic news. Hello everyone, we would like to graciously welcome you to a brand new episode of Non-Apologetic News, where we tell you everything you never knew you needed to know about what you need to know. I am Travisty, next to me is Body Bag. We are Non-Apologetic News. First off, we're going to talk about a little bit of home invasion. Lazy home invasion. To be exact, a woman was shocked when she wakes up to find a napping burglar in her guest bedroom. Dun, dun, dun. I didn't have my buttons ready. An Ohio woman reportedly woke up to discover a burglar napping in her guest bedroom after he had broke in overnight, taken a swim in her outdoor pool, and even eaten the family's leftover chicken. He just helped himself to everything in our house, she said, which occurred at her family home in Canton on Monday morning. Stedman, who lives with her husband, son, and brother-in-law, said she saw a light was on in the spare room when she found the not-so-smooth criminal snoozing. The quick-thinking gal, fucking writes this shit. The quick-thinking gal, whose husband Raymond had already left for work before the invasion, woke up her brother-in-law, Bryant, who chased the intruder out of her home. Unfortunately, that was only the tip of the iceberg. The distraught woman
Words.
Now we got to leave it in. The distraught woman discovered that the door to the backyard was open and that the man's soaping wet trousers were laying by the pool, indicating he had taken a swim. She added that the hungry criminal had also apparently finished off the leftovers from the previous night's chicken and even lit a candle in the bathroom. Before leaving, the creepy napper even swiped a pair of her son's underwear. It remains unclear how the man entered the home, although Stedman's husband had spied the guy walking down the street shirtless before he left for work at 4 a.m. He reportedly waited until the wackadoo passed before driving off, but did not check if his family was okay. So, let's recap here. This man, he breaks in. Well, before he breaks in, he takes a swim.
That's what I was wondering too. He found his wet track. Was he naked in the house?
Yeah, I said he stole her son's underwear. So he took a swim, as you said. He took off his pants on his way in. He walked in. He stole, I guess, a child's pair of underwear. He put them on. He ate the chicken, which then caused himself to need to move his bowels. So he went into the bathroom and very considerately lit the candle before going to sleep.
Jeez.
So this is in... let's see, where was this? This is in Ohio, and Ohio is a legal carry state. I think the only exception is you can't carry in your car or something weird like that. So I don't know what these people's problem was. Why they didn't shoot him? Because see, that's the sad thing. So, sir, you are lucky, because if this would have happened in Missouri, the headline would have read something drastically different. What do you got for us first today?
All right. This story's a little methy. A woman, while high on meth, stabbed and killed her boyfriend when he tried to hug her.
Wow.
Yeah. According to police officials, the 28-year-old woman was arrested and charged on Wednesday. Prosecutors say she now faces a third-degree murder charge for stabbing a man to death back in April. She allegedly stabbed the victim in the heart following an argument over food on April 8th. I can't imagine arguing over food. Then said that the stabbing was an accident and that the victim was just trying to hug her. Court documents show that she is a mother to a 4-year-old girl. Goes on too long.
Maybe the argument over food was over the fact she's not eating.
I could see that. Yeah. The 28-year-old woman from Pennsylvania, Brittany Geiswhite.
Geiswhite. She only likes Geiswhite.
Yeah. I bet. Faces multiple charges, including third-degree murder, voluntary manslaughter resulting from provocation by the individual killed, aggravated assault, and possession of a controlled substance. Wonder what that was. She didn't threaten to stab the victim, Robert Fallall, if he approached her. She followed through on that threat. Her daughter was inside the residence at the time of the stabbing and woke up as a result of the violence.
So what do you think of this young lady here? You know, we have a picture of her.
I mean, she's just, look at that, gorgeous. Okay.
Sounds a bit sarcastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you.
He's a cheeky one.
I don't know where to go from there.
She's very pretty, and I cannot stop looking at her, so we must move on. All right. So a man with warrants gives fake name, but that fake name also had warrants.
It's the fucking luck.
A game warden in Texas stopped a pair of men fishing without valid fishing licenses. One of the men did not have proper identification. According to the Houston Chronicle, the man without the ID knew he had active warrants for his arrest. In an effort to deceive the law enforcement officer, gave warden the name of a friend. As it happens, the man whose name was given to the warden also had warrants for his arrest. While he was being booked into jail under the false name, the man admitted to his lie and booked under his real name with the additional charge of lying to a police officer. Now, the reason why I find this so interesting is because I can relate to this story. So, when we were younger, I had a buddy of mine. We've talked about him on the show. He's in the pen right now. And when we were younger, he was in between his stays in the pen, you know, before he'd go on his extended vacations. And he was staying in a hotel, right? So I was going up to the hotel for whatever reason. Don't pry in my business. But I go in and he's changing rooms. So I come up the top of the stairwell and he's got like a box in his hand and he's just going like from one room to like 3 rooms down. So he's like, hey, grab a box, grab whatever, and let's help me move. I said, all right. So as we're coming out of his room, approaching the other room, we see officers come up the stairwell. So him, just like a slick criminal, he didn't even stop at the room. He just kept walking down the stairs past the police. Having a good day, officers, you know. But they were there for him, and they knew what he looked like. And they're like, come on, fuckhead. Like, stop. He had warrants, so they were arresting him, right? And so they asked me what my name was. So I had a buddy of mine. He knew I would use his name. He gave me his birth date, and he was like all clean. So I'd use his name and birthday and say I didn't know my social. So I did that, and it passed. You know, it was just fine. But come to find out, I didn't talk to this guy for a long time. He winded up getting into like beating his wife and stuff. Oh, sure. So he winded up having warrants. So if I would have continued, I didn't understand the repercussions that like I'm now associating him with the criminals I associate with by giving the police his name. I didn't understand that when I was so young. So I stopped using it. But yeah, this very well could have been me. And it was funny because like after the police arrest that guy, like now I have to take care of all of his stuff. And a lot of his stuff is illegal. So the police are going through the hotel room. It's me and this girl that he was with. It was he was
when I was with that skank.
Yeah. So like the police are going through it and they find a bone, right? Just a bone, no stem or anything in it, with just a little bit of water in the bottom. And they're like, okay, you know, the guy's already down in the car. They're like, we're going to charge him with possession of weed paraphernalia. And I'm like, how can you charge him with that? You can buy that at any shop in the world. And then he's like, that little bit of water in the bottom is going to test positive for THC. Little did they know it was going to test positive for something way worse. And they just never tested it, poured it out, and gave him the weed charge. But then I'm stuck with all of his stuff. So I go ahead and stay in the hotel for the evening. And I now have to hop in his car and like transport the stuff to a safe place. And oh, there was a series of events I don't feel comfortable talking about on this show that occurred after that. But yeah, this very well could have been me. So I find it a very interesting story. So I want to say to everyone, always do your research before you give police a fake name, at least before you do it next time.
Call your friends, make sure they don't have warrants.
And get their birthdays. That really helps. And then you just go, oh, I don't know my social, honestly. No, I wouldn't lie to you. I don't know my social. It's long. I'm stupid. What's next?
All right, we're going to go to Malaysia.
Ooh.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
A single mother with 9 children is sentenced to death for possessing 114 grams of methamphetamines.
That's what the water would have tested positive for.
This case has triggered heated online discussion about women's rights and capital punishment in Malaysia.
As it should.
Yeah. A viral video of a single mother who was sentenced to death on October 15th for drug-related offenses is generating online discussion about women's rights and capital punishment. According to the local reports, 55-year-old received the death penalty last week at the Tawu High Court in Sabah, Malaysia, after being convicted of drug possession and distribution. The fishmonger and single mother of 9 was found with 113.9 grams of methamphetamine in 2018. This means she was arrested like 3 years ago and just now getting sentenced for it.
Well, what's a fishmonger?
That's what's going to be my next question.
Because, like, if someone's like, like you're a, I don't know, money monger, it means you're hoarding, like, the item. I assume this just means fish seller, but is he, like, hiding all the fish and, like, no one else can have any? Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. This is kind of a fucked up situation. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a drug charge. Mm-hmm. She's going to lose her life fucking over it. And 9 children are going to be motherless over a little bit of meth.
It's not a little bit of meth.
It's not a ball.
It's 114 grams. A ball is 3.5 grams.
Oh, yeah, it is.
The fishmonger and single mother 9 was found with 113.9 grams of methamphetamines.
Oh, yeah, that's several balls.
Yeah, that is like a softball. You know what I mean? I mean, that is a substantial amount of methamphetamine. So maybe she wasn't that good of a mother. That's not to say if you do meth, you're not a good mother. You know what? Fuck it. That is to say if you do meth, you're not a good mother. Sorry. Fuck you. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, but can you imagine if they put people to death around here for possession of fucking... You have a very slim town.
There would be so much less traffic.
So much.
My commute would be so much shorter. It honestly would not bother me a bit. It depends on where you're from, I guess. For us, meth is like a plague.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it takes good people and turns them into...
shit bags.
Yeah. It's just, it is god awful.
Yeah.
I hear my dog going crazy outside. My neighbor is one of those type of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably barking at his dog that he lets roam. Yes, meth creates bad people.
Yes, it does.
Is that everything for this story?
Yeah, that is it.
All right. Next up, I want to talk about an ugly woman's genitals.
Hell yeah.
There she is. Not the genitals. The woman. Okay.
Fucking prize right there.
This is Tulsa. Tulsa, not far, an hour plus from us. All right, she was seen strolling through a Tulsa Whole Foods while exposing her genitals. But it does not end there. The incident occurred around midday. She not only exposed her private parts, but also partook in stealing wine and cupcakes.
Where's she hit him?
Police officers reported that she was also seen urinating in the middle of the parking lot as she left. Officers were able to locate the suspect who was eating cupcakes in front of the liquor store. So she had indecent exposure charges, larceny, public urination, what have you. And the sad thing is that she is such, we'll put her picture up, she is such a grotesque looking woman. I almost want to see what her genitals actually look like. You know what I mean?
Just top notch.
Just for science, like what kind of sea creature is roaming down there, you know? I think that if you happen to see it, if I happen to see it, it would probably haunt me forever. So as we have this picture up here, I hope that y'all are picturing it and it haunts you forever. And on that note of nasty genitalia, we are out this bitch. Till next week, non-apologetic news, where we tell you a bunch of nonsense that you didn't know you needed to know. Yeah. Next week, we will be back. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends so people know we exist. Goodbye. Don't watch the news. Non-apologetic news. Non-apologetic news.